What is happening in the cryptocurrency market today? Bitcoin is suddenly moving higher, Ethereum is gaining momentum, Solana is climbing, and several major altcoins are following the move. But why? What exactly caused this sudden crypto rally on August 19th, 2026? And more importantly, is this the beginning of a bigger move or just a temporary short-term pump? In today's video, we're breaking down the biggest reasons behind today's cryptocurrency rally, starting with Bitcoin, then Ethereum and Solana, and finally looking at why so many altcoins are moving at the same time. Welcome back to CryptoBase. Let's get into it. Bitcoin is leading the rally. Let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has made one of its strongest moves in months, briefly pushing above the $68,000 level and approaching $69,000. The move represents roughly a 6% gain today, making Bitcoin one of the biggest stories in the financial markets. But this wasn't simply random buying. One of the biggest catalysts came from the United States Treasury. The Treasury announced that it would increase the size of its government bond buybacks to at least $4 billion per operation starting in September. Why does this matter for Bitcoin? Because bond markets, interest rates, liquidity, and risk assets are all connected. The announcement helped reduce pressure in the long-term bond market, while Treasury yields came under less pressure. And when financial conditions become more favorable, investors are often more willing to move money into riskier assets. That includes technology stocks and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Stocks, bonds, gold, and Bitcoin all reacted positively to the announcement. So, this was one of the major catalysts behind today's move. The short squeeze made the move even bigger. But there's another major reason Bitcoin moved so quickly. Short liquidations. A huge number of traders were betting that Bitcoin would fall. When Bitcoin suddenly moved higher, those traders were forced to close their short positions. And when a short position is liquidated, the trader effectively has to buy back the asset. That creates even more buying pressure. And then more buying causes the price to rise, which triggers more liquidations. And that creates even more buying. This is called a short squeeze. Today, more than $1 billion worth of short positions were liquidated within a very short period. That helped turn what could have been a normal Bitcoin recovery into a much more aggressive rally. So Bitcoin's move today is not just about new buyers entering the market. It's also about sellers being forced to become buyers.
Ethereum is following Bitcoin. Now let's talk about Ethereum. Ethereum also moved sharply higher today, breaking above the $2,000 area and continuing to attract attention. Ethereum often benefits when Bitcoin breaks higher because investors become more comfortable taking risk across the cryptocurrency market. But Ethereum also has its own major narratives. Ethereum remains one of the most important networks for decentralized finance, stablecoins, tokenization, and smart contracts. So when confidence returns to the crypto market, Ethereum is one of the first major altcoins investors watch. Today's move, therefore, appears to be a combination of Bitcoin's strength, improving market sentiment, and renewed interest in major altcoins. Why is Solana going up? Now let's get to Solana. Solana has been one of the cryptocurrencies attracting significant attention during today's rally. So why is Sol moving higher? The first reason is simple: momentum. When Bitcoin breaks higher and Ethereum starts moving, traders often begin searching for cryptocurrencies that could potentially outperform Bitcoin. Solana is one of the biggest and most liquid altcoins in the market, so it naturally becomes a target for traders looking for higher volatility. There is also a strong ecosystem narrative around Solana. The network continues to be associated with decentralized applications, trading activity, DeFi, memcoins, and high-speed blockchain applications. So when money starts rotating from Bitcoin into altcoins, Solana can benefit disproportionately. In other words, Bitcoin often starts the move, Ethereum helps confirm the move, and then traders start looking for higher beta assets like Solana. That's one reason SOL can move faster than Bitcoin during a strong crypto rally. What about XRP? XRP is another cryptocurrency that can benefit when market-wide sentiment improves. Today's rally is not necessarily being driven by one single XRP-specific announcement. Instead, XRP is benefiting from the broader rotation into large-cap cryptocurrencies. When Bitcoin breaks higher and liquidity moves into the altcoin market, major assets such as XRP can attract additional buying pressure. This is an important point. Not every cryptocurrency is rising today because of a completely separate piece of news. Sometimes the entire market moves together because the overall risk appetite has changed, and that appears to be part of what we're seeing today. What about other altcoins? Now, what about all the other cryptocurrencies? Why are so many coins suddenly moving higher? The answer is market-wide liquidity and sentiment. When Bitcoin begins a strong move, traders often become more confident. Then money starts moving into Ethereum. After that, traders begin looking at Solana, XRP, BNB, Cardano, Chainlink, Avalanche, and other major altcoins. And eventually, speculative money can move into smaller cryptocurrencies. This creates a chain reaction. Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum follows, large-cap altcoins begin moving. Then traders start looking for the next big opportunity, and suddenly the entire crypto market can turn green. Fear is starting to fade. Another important factor is market sentiment. Earlier this month, investors were much more cautious, but today, sentiment has started improving. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index has moved higher, showing that extreme fear is beginning to fade. When fear decreases, investors who were waiting on the sidelines may become more willing to enter the market. That creates additional demand, and when demand increases while traders are already heavily positioned for a recovery, prices can move very quickly. So, is this a new bull run? Now comes the big question. Does today's rally mean a new Bitcoin and crypto bull run has officially started? Not necessarily, and this is extremely important. One strong day does not confirm a new bull market. Today's move has been heavily influenced by short liquidations and a sudden improvement in macroeconomic sentiment. That means the market could still experience a pullback. Bitcoin needs to hold its newly recovered levels and continue attracting real spot demand if this rally is going to develop into a larger trend. So investors should not confuse a powerful short squeeze with guaranteed long-term growth. The bigger picture. But there is something important happening today. Bitcoin has shown that buyers are still willing to step in when the market receives a positive macroeconomic catalyst. Ethereum is gaining momentum, Solana and other major altcoins are participating, and traders are becoming more willing to take risk. That combination is exactly what the cryptocurrency market needs if a larger recovery is going to develop. The next few days will therefore be extremely important. Will Bitcoin continue above the levels it reached today? Will Ethereum continue climbing? Can Solana maintain its momentum? And will money continue rotating into altcoins? Those are the questions traders will be watching closely. Final thoughts. So, why is Bitcoin and crypto going up today? There isn't just one reason. It's a combination of several factors. The U.S. Treasury increased its bond buyback plans. Long-term bond market pressure eased, risk appetite improved. Bitcoin broke higher. Massive short liquidations created additional buying pressure. And improving sentiment helped money flow into Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and other cryptocurrencies. That's why today's move has been so powerful. But remember, cryptocurrency remains extremely volatile. A rally can continue, but a sharp correction can also happen just as quickly. So don't make investment decisions simply because the market is green today. Do your own research, understand the risks, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to CryptoBase, turn on notifications, and leave a like. And tell me in the comments, which cryptocurrency do you think could make the biggest move next? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, or another altcoin? Thanks for watching CryptoBase. I'll see you in the next video.